One of the beautiful aspects of the Torah is the fact that we have words in it that are 3,000 years old, and yet they still speak to us today and have such contemporary relevance. A perfect example of that is found in this week's Torah portion, which has the story of the Akedah, where Avraham is told to take his son and sacrifice him atop Mount Moriah. I can't begin to tell you how much has been written over the years, over the centuries, about this story. What better example can I give you than to point out that in the last half of the 20th century, two of the most famous singers, Jewish singers, used the story of the Akedah for their songs. Bob Dylan has the song Highway 61 Revisited. Begins with the words, "Oh, God said to Abraham, kill me a son. Abe says, man, you must be putting me on. God says, no. Abe says, what?" Leonard Cohen, he has a song called The Story of Isaac. "The door had opened slowly. My father, he came in. I was 9 years old, and he stood so tall above me. His blue eyes, they were shining, and his voice was very cold. He said, I've had a vision, and you know I'm strong and holy. I must do what I've been told." It's not just in song, but in theology, in philosophy. Everyone from the Sfas Emes to Soren Kierkegaard have written about the Akedah. Kierkegaard was a very famous 19th century Danish philosopher who, on the basis of the story of the Akedah, wrote a whole book called Fear and Trembling, in which he spoke of the conflict between hearing the call from God and the ethics that tells us right and wrong. And he spoke of Abraham having taken a leap of faith. Did Abraham do the right thing? Most commentators say yes. Others question it. Still others say it wasn't a matter of right or wrong. This was only God's way of teaching Abraham that Jewish people don't accept the concept of child sacrifices. Whatever the case may be, I just want to draw your attention for a moment to something that few commentators talk about, but which say so much. And that's what happened after the Akedah, after Isaac was saved, and after the ram was sacrificed in its stead. What do we see in the Torah? We see some remarkable things. We never see God speaking to Abraham again. He told him to go atop Mount Moriah, but when he came down, no more communication. We never see Abraham and his son Yitzchak speaking again. They spoke atop Mount Moriah, but when they came down, not a word was to be spoken. And Sarah, the mother, according to some commentators, she died upon hearing that her son had been taken to be sacrificed. So look what happened from the leap of faith, a breakdown of a family communication. Kierkegaard might have spoken of the leap of faith, but we should remember to look before we leap, because sometimes it's not the actions that cause problems, but the reactions. Look before you leap. Shabbat Shalom.